Hello, everyone. As we approach the end of the second week, all we have left is Friday and next week, Friday of week 2 and next week of summer school. I wanted to reach out to you for two reasons. The first is to discuss absences. As a reminder, if you miss a fourth class, unfortunately, per district policy, we have to drop you from that class's roster. You can earn attendance two ways. The first way is by attending a Google Meet. If you attend the Google Meet on that day, you earn credit for that class. Also, you could do the daily work assignment and earn credit that way. Now, either way, you have to do the daily work assignment because it's worth points. It just doubles up if you do the daily work assignment and don't attend a Google Meet. You get credit for doing it on the day that it is assigned, and you get your unit. But you could just attend the Google Meet and get attendance that way too, but you miss out on that point and you'll have to go back and do it anyway. The second reason that I wanted to reach out is to suggest a timeline as we reach the end for completing your work. Those of you who have watched this video and have heard me talk to you a lot over the last 2 weeks, you've seen me put a lot of priority on your novel project. The novel project is the largest, most time-consuming project that we have. So that's why I put so much pressure on that particular assignment. I prioritized it second only to attending each day, right? So as we approach the end of the week and the beginning of next, my suggestion to you, and this is a strong suggestion, is to complete your novel project and share it with me via Google Docs by Monday morning. I understand that this puts a little bit of pressure on some of you, but it is crunch time. In addition, it would be valuable for students to, over the weekend, watch the movie that you intend to watch for the film review assignment. I'd like to take a couple of minutes to just go over the novel assignment. So you can go about this a couple different ways. You can divide your book into thirds as the assignment sheet requests and answer it third by third, or you can read your whole novel and go back and answer each third of the novel. In either case, here is what goes in each third of that novel. Divide the novel into three parts by pages or chapters. Assign part 1 assignments to the first third, part 2 to the second third, and part 3 to the final third. Many of you have told me what novel you're going to choose, and I've okayed those. So each part, think of it as this way, each part is divided into halves. So let's say you have a 300-page novel. We're working with pages 1 to 100. You'll start a new Google Doc and you will write a beginning journal. That should be approximately 2 pages in length. In that 2 pages, you'll double space it, and you will answer these questions. There are 7 sort of prompts here that help you clarify, help you understand what's important in those first 100 pages, and they help kind of lead you to 2 pages. I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you're able to write 2 pages based on these 7 prompts. On the same Google Doc that you created for part 1, you're going to move on to writing assignment 1. The writing assignment half of each part asks you to experience the novel a little bit differently. And by that, I mean that you're not going to write a journal. You're going to be asked to kind of put yourself in another person's shoes or create some art related to the novel or things like that. And I'll kind of point that out. So in writing assignment 1, you will put a check mark besides the topic of your choice. Choose one topic, and your response should be no less than 1 page in length. So you'll choose one of these. Once you're done with that, you'll move on to number 2, part 2. At this point, you will create a new Google Doc. You will call the new Google Doc part 2 Novel Idea Project. You will write a journal. This is a 2-page double-spaced journal, just like the beginning journal. And you will respond with these 7 prompts. I think you'll be surprised again at how much you have to say when you go through these prompts and you answer the questions presented there. You'll be surprised at how quickly you get to 2 pages. That's the first half of part 2. The second half of part 2 is a writing assignment. It grows a little bit. Your assignment now should be no less than 2 pages in length. But again, choose one of the following options. You'll also notice here how what I'm asking of you is much different. You might draw a detailed color map of where a major part of the story takes place. If the setting is an important piece of this novel, you might follow that path. Maybe you want to do a vocab list. You could find 20 interesting words from the novel. Maybe you want to make a crossword puzzle. So, kind of the choice is up to you, but you just choose one of these 7 or 8 options here. Then you will create a new Google Doc as you move on to part 3. You'll do your final journal, which stays consistent at approximately 2 pages in length. You double spaced, of course, and you'll respond to these 7 prompts. And again, I think you'll be surprised at how much you have to say about that last third of your novel as long as you follow those 7 prompts. Writing assignment 3 then, again, grows a little bit with each part, so you're up to 3 pages in length. And of course, you will choose one of the following options. You might do a collage of a major theme, or one that illustrates a certain part of your novel. Maybe you'll find 3 songs that relate to your novel and find the lyrics online. It says write them out, but if you were to find them and copy paste from the website, of course, giving credit to the website too, just by taking the URL and pasting it on the page as well. Explain how that song is fitting for your novel. Maybe you want to write a long poem or a rap, do several pieces of art. The choice is kind of up to you, but notice how the writing assignment grows with each part. So that is what I'm asking of you with your novel project assignment. It ends up being about 14 pages in length, but again, with each part being broken in half and the different prompts available, I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you get to 14 pages. And it's also why I've been putting so much pressure on you to start a novel, work through a novel, get the novel going, because I know that this is a bit of a time-consuming project. But I think that all of you are more than capable. I'm going to take a minute here to also go through the film review assignment sheet. So you will watch a movie that you have not seen before that many other people have. So like a famous movie that you've just never seen, right? And that's important, and I'll get to why it's important that other people have seen it in just a minute. This needs to be a feature film. It needs to have been in theaters, and it needs to have a plot and a storyline. The reason that I'm careful about that and acknowledge that piece is because I don't want you to watch a documentary. I'm looking for a feature film. So you'll take thorough notes as you watch, including the director, producer, kind of maybe have to look some of that stuff up. Follow the instructions to write a report, which we'll get to all of this in just a second. The assignment sheet breaks those down. Task 1, the written report. This is, I should add this in here, 1.5 pages. Of course, double spaced, so on and so forth. And you'll follow these 5 requests, these 5 prompts: A, B, C, D, and E. An introductory paragraph. What's the major conflict in the film? What are some other conflicts that result as a result of the main conference? Some other conflicts that arise as a result of the main conflict. What is the theme of the movie? And how does the author bring the theme and the conflict together in the climax of the film? And then again, how is it resolved? So it's a bit of a summary, but you're looking more at the pieces of the summary that create it, the conflict and the theme and the characters and so on and so forth. And so this next part is why I ask that you watch a movie that others have seen that maybe you haven't. You have to conduct an interview. Pretend that you were a movie critic reporting on people's opinions of this movie. Interview at least 3 different people who have seen the movie. You have to ask them 4 questions. Now, here's what I want to caution you. Don't get so stuck on your questions that when one of your interviewees says something interesting, that you don't ask follow-up questions. Oftentimes what happens is somebody says something interesting and it takes you down a whole new path. Go down that path with them. Ask them follow-up questions. Things like, tell me more. Why did you think that? Don't get so stuck on your questions that you just, okay, and you move on to the next one. Want to make sure that you allow your interviewees to flesh out their thoughts, to tell you everything that they think about the question that you asked. And then compose a detailed summary of your interview, including the observations and opinions of your interviewees and your own feelings about the movie. So, one option you might have, and make sure that this is okay with the person you interview, is you might record the interview so that you don't have to write so quickly, right? You can go back to it and listen to their responses again. And then part 3, this actually takes place as you watch the movie. Um, and you don't have to do that necessarily on this sheet. You can, if you want to do it in Doc Hub, or you can kind of recreate it on a sheet of paper on your own and take a picture of it like on your phone or something and upload that and email me. That's okay too. This is the plot structure, something that many of us are familiar with the exposition, the beginning, what's the rising action, 10 points of rising action, what's the climax of the story, falling action, resolution, and you'll fill in the setting, the conflict, the resolution, and the author's theme. You'd be smart to do this while watching the movie because it's happening in front of you. It's just easy to fill in as you're watching. So, while parts 1 and 2 might have to take place after the movie, after you've seen the movie, part 3, the plot structure, can take place while you watch. And so I hope that provides a little bit of clarity on those 2 assignments for you. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Thank you. And so, just a quick recap. Finish the novel project by Monday morning, and then watch your film as well over the course of the weekend. That will allow you all of next week to do the rest of the folder work, of which the videos are often 15 to 17 minutes long, though there are a few that are a little bit longer, up to 40 minutes. But there are plenty that are 15 minutes long, and there are some that are even 10 and shorter still. So that is why I request that you focus mostly on the novel project. As a reminder, I'd like to see everybody attend 2 Google Meets per week. What's the process for getting to those Google Meets? Let's take a look. I'm just going to open up to one of my classes here. Take the first one, the first session of the day, the 8:30 session. If you have this class, you see this in all of your Schoology pages as well, though, I suppose. You'll see the daily lesson for that day. I'm making this on Thursday, July 9th, so it's day 9. You will also see one of these folders available to you. These are not all available, just the one that you are making up. And so each day, what I will ask of you is at the time your class starts, in the case of this particular course, 8:30. At 8:30, you should open up your computer and open up your browser and have 2 tabs open. The first should be Schoology, where you can get to the daily lesson, right, and the folder in which has been assigned to you. The second tab should be your email, where you will see a link to a Google Meet. And that Google Meet, that's where we can have conversations about what's going well, what's not going well, what questions do you have about the assignments, and that sort of thing. The last hour of each course, so in the case of first session, from 9 to 10, or from 10:30 to 11:30, or from 1 to 2, should be spent working on your folder work. Maybe that means your novel project. For all I know, that means you're past that. You're on to the other projects. Maybe that means that you do the folder work. But you need to spend that time working on English. The time is set aside for you to do that. It would be beneficial for you if you did. And one last final reminder about prioritizing. Your first priority should be your daily assignments, completed on the day that they are assigned. That keeps you, number 1, on track. You don't have to go back and do assignments that you missed. And number 2, it gives you attendance. Even if you attend a Google Meet, it is my suggestion that you go in and do the assignment on that day, so that you are for sure covered for attendance and you're caught up on your daily units. Your second priority should be your novel project. Again, time consuming and the most involved project that we have. It's one that will require you to commit the most time to. So definitely your second priority. Your third priority should be the rest of the assignments in the folder assigned to you. Once you have a good handle on your novel project, maybe for you that means that your novel project is done. Maybe for you that means that it's 2/3 done, but you're like, okay, I need a break from that. I'm going to do other stuff. That's okay too, as long as you've prioritized your novel project. Remember, everything is due on the 17th. That's next Friday at 2 p.m. So balance this in a way that works best for you. Before I wrap up, I would like to just share, to be on track, students should finish their novel project and turn it in to me by Monday morning. In addition, it would be valuable to students to watch the film for their film review project over the weekend. This way, next week, students can just focus on the remaining folder work and the daily assignments. The remaining folder work is typically less time consuming than the novel. There might be many assignments there, but they're very short. If you have questions, please feel free to email me at nathaniel.doimer@isd728.org. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you next week.